So what is going on, guys? Biz coming at you with another video, and welcome back to the channel, guys. So after a while, I've been playing the Infinite Warfare beta consistently throughout my weekend that Xbox was allowed to get it. I completely love the game. I thought the game was going to be good at first, but I loved it more than I expected to ever love this game. But besides me loving the game and being great at it, I'll be going into the pros and cons of Infinite Warfare beta. Again, just to keep it out. Beta, not full game, because the full game hasn't come out yet, obviously. The beta. So first, before I even say anything about the pros and cons, I want to say that Infinite Warfare beta, the Infinite Warfare developer had said that the game was going gold. Technically meaning, if you don't know, that the game is already done, developed, ready to be in stores, and any problems with the beta might be still in the full game, and of course the developer can fix that out throughout the months that the game is going to be out. But you can sort of expect the same gameplay that you saw in the beta in the full game. Disclaimer, most pros and cons are mostly opinionated, so do not get. If you guys do enjoy the video, make sure to sub to see more, and let's get started. So going off into the first pro of Infinite Warfare, the boosting of the game. Now, this boosting is obviously inspired by Black Ops 3 because that was the Call of Duty before Infinite Warfare, and it could be also inspired by Advanced Warfare because it did have sort of boosting, but it had more of jumps, less than boosting in Advanced Warfare. But anyways, in Infinite Warfare, the boosting is very, very heavy. When I first went through it, it was extremely weird. I didn't like it at all because it wasn't like Black Ops 3 where I could jump here, there, everywhere, anywhere I wanted to go. I could go, and I can go very quickly, very fast, and very smoothly. But with Infinite Warfare boosting, it's very heavy, causing you to take more time going up something, going a little bit slower when you're boosting, and that's where the game is good. I can see a lot of people not using the boosting for an offensive effect, but they will be using the boosting to get on top of a train or car, or they will use it to get in a building through the window. I don't really see a lot of people use the boosting as a offensive effect. Meaning, I don't see people jumping 50 feet in the air like they did in Black Ops 3 and shooting a man of war for any reason. I really don't see that. So I see that as a benefit of the game. I see that as a benefit because the game is going to be mostly boots on the ground, since people might not like the boosting since it is so heavy. Now going into the con of the game, one of the cons is the supply drops. In the supply drop videos that I've saw from many Merc Music, Hollow Point, Chaos X Silencer, the simple Call of Duty YouTubers, I noticed that they got many duplicates throughout the beta, and it's pretty obvious that they got duplicates because the game is a beta, as I said before, and they're not going to give you all the things that they have in the full game in the beta, so obviously they got duplicates. But as I said before in the beginning of the video, the game was claimed to be going golds. I don't necessarily know if I obviously know that they are gonna have all the items that they have, helmets, any customization items, any calling cards, any variants of any guns. All the variants of the guns will be in rare supply drops and common supply drops. That is obvious. But the thing is, with the beta, since they said they were going gold, I'm afraid to see a triple duplicate inside a supply drop, which would be very, very sad to see and very disappointing to see that the game had given anyone triple duplicates in the full game, not the beta, the full game. That would be disappointing. But in the beta, this happened many times, which was not necessarily bad, which goes off to the pro of this duplicates. So with duplicates, they give you a new currency, which was added to the Call of Duty franchise. So this currency is called Salvage. You get Salvage when you open a supply drop. You could get Salvage itself, or as I said before, with these constant duplicates, it sort of dismantles your duplicate into Salvage. A small amount of Salvage, maybe 3, 5, depending on the variant, depending on how rare it is. That's how much Salvage it will give you. So you can get Salvage itself in supply drops, or you can get Salvage as a dupe if you get another duplicate for a gun, which if I get another epic for a gun, I might get maybe 20 Salvage from that duplicate, which is very good, and it keeps the game going. Now, a good thing about Salvage is that you're able to go to the armory, and with the armory you get to see every single gun, every single variant it has. Now with the Salvage, you'll be able to purchase any variant you want to. But here's the catch. with purchasing any variant you want to, you have to go in order from rare to epic. Now, whoa, your mind just got blown. Oh, I can't get epics easily if I get the right amount of salvage. That pretty much sucks, and you gotta save up a lot. That's why they don't give you salvage very easily in the beta, because they know if people get a lot of salvage, they will be able to access the epics very quickly, which would be completely unfair for anyone else in the game. So this is how it'll basically go. It'll go first for a common variant that you want to buy. It will go for around 200. Then for a rare variant you want to buy, it will go for around 900 to maybe 1,000, maybe even a little more. And then for legendary, it can go from maybe 1,500 salvage to maybe 1,700. And then epics are really the highest one. They go over 3,000 or over salvage you need to at least get an epic. And after me consistently playing throughout the weekend, I literally almost got 300 salvage. And that was because I was grinding and non-stop playing. And that is only if you grind and non-stop play. And it's gonna be, getting salvage is just gonna be like getting keys for a supply drop. It's gonna be hard to get, but it will be worth it at the end. So going to another con of the game, motion blur. Motion blur is something that they went off in the game when it first came out in esports that people noticed in their recordings. But this affects many YouTubers and they talked about it already. But it's basically when you see a blur in your game while it's in motion. Now, technically, you won't see it that often when you're in motion in the game. You're playing Infinite Warfare, you're running around, you're boosting. You really don't see the blur with the motion. But if you take a clip and you slow it down a bit, you can actually see the frames going by, and you could see your gun completely blurry. Like if you see from this image right here that I took from the gameplay that you were watching, I am showing you the K bar as I'm reloading or I was sprinting with it, and this is how it looks. It's literally, the entire gun is blurry. It's horrible for thumbnails. It's horrible for YouTubers who are trying to get that good thumbnail to get maybe analysis on a gun, maybe to talk about the gun, maybe to talk about a streak that they got, maybe to just get a good thumbnail. They can't, because the motion blur is going to very much affect that. Now, comparing it to another game, obviously Black Ops 3 was the last game, so I'm going to compare it to Black Ops 3. This is a picture of Black Ops 3 with me carrying the Man of War. You really can't see it that much because in Black Ops 3 they hold the gun very close to the low part of the screen, and you really couldn't see your gun that often. But if you look closer, you can actually see the Man of War pretty well, and it's not as blurry as the K bar was when I was sprinting with it, and it's very, very clear. And that's the problem that the game has, and they need to fix that somehow. They need to put a setting, maybe, if you want motion blur or you don't want motion blur, which you probably shouldn't have motion blur in the game. I really don't know how motion blur can really benefit your game at all. I really don't know. I probably have to research that if I want to go more in depth and figure out why they have motion blur in the game. But as seen in Black Ops 3, there is no motion blur. In Infinite Warfare, there is motion blur, and it's really hard for YouTubers. And it sort of happens when you're watching the game. If you really look closely and you're really into the game, you will see little bits of blur while you're moving. But anyways, I know that this was only about 2 pros and 2 cons of the game, but I'm just judging off the beta, not the full game, obviously, so it's not going to be that much I can actually talk about. But that is all that I have for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. Make sure to leave a like, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace out. Use that as a little distraction. Try to go around. Go. Damn it.